There are very few relationships in the history of the world as contentious, enduring, and potentially cataclysmic as that between Russia and NATO. The history of the two forces reveals the origin of the deep-rooted psyche of both camps. For Russians, they carved their nation out of destiny. Moscow is less than 3 degrees south of Juneau, Alaska. The Grand Duchy of Moscow, the forerunner of modern Russia, had to endure warfare on the Eurasian steppes and the harsh elements of their environments across vast distances. Their country was besieged by all neighbors: Swedes, Poles, Balts, Turks, Mongols, the French Empire, and the mighty German Wehrmacht twice. With a combination of grit, weather, and depth, they have resisted them all. In return, they possess the largest country in the world with a bevy of industrial and luxury resources. NATO, on the other hand, went into effect immediately after World War II as a force to resist the expansionist nature of the Soviet Union. It consisted of countries on the western fringes of Europe where the Allies were able to arrive before the Soviets, as well as Canada, the US, and Turkey as a backstop to the southern Soviet expansion into Mediterranean, denying the Russians unfettered access to the Suez Canal. NATO did its job as a security alliance, and the Soviets' Iron Curtain never expanded past its World War II conquest. NATO was conservative and stable. Between 1955 and 1999, NATO only brought into the fold one country, Spain, who was well within its sphere of operations. Upon the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, countries formerly behind the Iron Curtain championed for greater European integration through access to Western markets and, just as important, security assurances. Since 1999, NATO has opened its doors to 14 of the 30 members which it has today. All of those 14 were once under communism in Central and Eastern Europe. For Russia, once the Iron Curtain collapsed, the new buffer nations around Russia were countries of the former Soviet Union: the Baltics, Belarus, Ukraine, the Caucasus, and Central Asia. When Putin says the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the 20th century was the breakup of the Soviet Union, that is a crucial insight into the makeup of the Russian mind. Without its buffer states, Russia, the country, lay bare and vulnerable, both militarily and economically. With NATO determined to expand and Russia determined to preserve its sphere, a showdown is inevitable, and Ukraine has unfortunately drawn the short straw of hosting this conflict. The only question is whether we'll even recognize Ukraine when it's all finished.